Welcome back to YAFFEE Live here on the Talk Monster. I am Chattanooga's conservative conscience, Tennessee's voice of reason. We have a lot to talk about today, including a lot to talk about in the state of Tennessee when it comes to Tennessee news and politics, especially because the session starts in, less than a week now. So it's that time of the week once again where we speak with Brandon Lewis, who is the founder of the Tennessee Conservative. You can read all his stuff at TennesseeConservativeNews.com. Brandon, how are you today, sir?
I'm great. Happy New Year. I'm excited for 2026.
I'm excited. I'm excited as well. I think it's going to be a good year, despite all the doom and gloom by some out there. I think overall it'll be a good year. So, one thing that's already come up, speaking of a controversial thing for 2026, we have this story. You have it on your website. A monument to the unborn children on Tennessee Capitol grounds is reigniting controversy amongst lawmakers. So this monument was supposed to go up to unborn children, and obviously those who don't want to be reminded of what abortion actually does are against this monument going up. What do you think about it?
Well, the first thing is, I will just tell this to your listeners that keep up with the Tennessee legislature. Whenever you see Janice Bowling bringing a bill, she is by far the most conservative member of the Tennessee Senate, and she has more conservatism in her pink fingernail polish than most of the men up there have in
Oh,
their
okay.
entire body. So it's a shame that so often and during COVID and other times it took ladies standing up while the men were silent. And she has been very outspoken on this issue. And of course, it is primarily the Democrats. I would say almost exclusively the Democrats, even though many Republicans may not like it, they won't say it. And as you mentioned, Yaffe, when you put a monument up to the unborn, you are admitting that these are people. You do not put monuments up to non-people. This is not a monument to some inanimate object. And I think that having things like that in our culture that remind us of the sad and ignoble end of many of these children is not something Democrats want out there. And it was originally approved in 2018, and the project's seen a delay of 8 years. It's amazing the things we can fast track in Tennessee government and what we can't, but it's all privately funded. And so hopefully June 24th, 2026, the monument is slated for installation. And she just said, we want to honor the fact that they were created in the image of God and are human beings, and to show some reverence for our humans and fellow man. So I'm all behind what Miss Bowling is doing, and she's a gem in the Tennessee Senate.
Well, I agree with you on that, but do you think something else might get in the way? It just seems like they've really tried to throw every wrench at this to prevent it from actually being built and happening.
I'm sure they will. I mean, the Democrats can make noise, delay, the rhinos can drag their feet. But I would think, given that this is so far along, and to my knowledge, it has already been funded, additional funds that are currently being raised are going to be for bringing flowers as a memorial to the unborn in Tennessee. And so I don't know that the Democrats have much leverage on this, but they always fight. I will give them that. That's the one thing I love about and admire, to be honest, with the Democrats in Tennessee, is they say something on the campaign trail and they go try to make it happen in the legislature. And so often Republicans will say something on the campaign trail and they get up there and they don't really make it happen, or they do something in the opposite direction. So I can, even when somebody's values aren't shared by me personally, I admire the bravery of actually trying to follow through, and they're always playing offense, even when they're in the very small minority.
Okay. Well, I never thought I would hear you say you admire a Democrat in Tennessee. But I mean, you make a good point. They are the extreme minority, but they're still willing to fight. At least some. And you wish. I guess your point is you wish you saw some of that fight in Republicans. They get kind of complacent sometimes, right? Because they're in the supermajority.
Yeah, well, they don't have to serve. A lot of Republicans just don't have to serve their constituents because 94% plus of leadership money in the Republican Party in Tennessee comes from outside the district. So I mean, they literally get zero funding from back home. And after a while, you rack up 10,000, 20,000, $40,000 in obligation to a particular lobby, whether it's medical or otherwise. and they come calling and they want you to present or run a bill that's in contrast with the folks back in your district. They're counting on the fact that the average Tennessean will never even know it happened. And in most cases, if we don't report on it, they never do. And even then, it's still just the folks that keep up. So, and again, the thing I love and admire truly about any political person is that they just say what they're going to do and then they go into office and try to do it. And Democrats can't get it anywhere across the finish line, but at least they try. And often Republicans won't even pick up or follow through on key issues like closing the Republican primaries, which hopefully is going to be a discussion that we have again in the legislature, and a couple of other things that are on the docket.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You would think it'd be a no-brainer to close the primaries. You're exactly right. Just one of those things that should get done easily in a state like this, but doesn't. I'm speaking with Brandon Lewis. He's the founder of the Tennessee Conservative. Another more stuff going on for the legislature in this next session. But you have a story about how Memphis senator has introduced a bill to require law enforcement agencies to hold onto illegal immigrants longer, so it allows the feds to take custody. So it's about working with ICE, unlike what they're doing in Minneapolis, where they're almost inciting violence against ICE. This senator wants Tennessee to work with them more.
Yeah, and another senator here, YAFFEE, that's been a bright spot in the Tennessee Senate is Brent Taylor. And if it's him cleaning up Memphis with the Memphis Safe Task Force, which has been remarkably effective, we've talked about on the show, or fighting illegal immigration, a lot of this stuff is kind of around the edges, but if it makes a difference, that's great. And basically, he's saying that if they are in custody, you have to hold them for at least 48 hours, Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays not included, and to make sure that ICE has time to get there. I would be curious, and it would be a good question to ask Austin Garrett. How long does it take ICE to typically get to a facility
Yeah,
if there is a detainer? Are they on hand in places like Chattanooga, Knoxville, Memphis, and Nashville, and then maybe out in the hinterlands? Um, it takes them longer to get there. I would imagine that most of your more conservative rural areas are probably pretty uh, open to holding them for ICE, but a lot of municipalities like Memphis and Nashville are likely, willing to catch and release these guys because they don't want to participate in the process of cleaning up illegal immigration in our state. So hats off to Mr. Taylor for taking another step in the right direction.
Now, do you think it's going to have trouble passing? It seems like, I mean, even the more moderate Republicans, I can't imagine they would want to really go against this.
No, this is the perfect type of bill for even rhinos to vote for because it's not like a big thing, right? If you're already in jail, uh, chances are you're probably not the illegal aliens that many rhinos say that we absolutely need in Tennessee. It's likely that you have done something you shouldn't. And so this is one of those great bills. While it is helpful, I'm not taking that away from it. It's one of those things that someone with a bad illegal immigration record can vote for. And then when they're on the trail, they can point to this and they can point to other, ancillary issues while they may have voted against things that would have really made a difference, like Gino Bolso's Trump Act, or some of these other pieces of legislation that have come before committees in the House and the Senate. So it's a lot of smoke, mirrors, and intrigue when bills are suggested. Sometimes they're for putting on postcards and grabbing headlines. Sometimes they're functional, and sometimes it's a combination of both. And I think this bill is both.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Just even the moderates, they'll want to say they did something on this issue and they'll pass this. But this next bill that you're talking about on your website, not so sure about this one. There has been some pushback from the rhinos, but immigration and vouchers are top of mind again as Tennessee legislature is set to return. And of course, one of the bills was kind of forcing schools not forcing them, but allowing schools to maybe charge tuition or ban illegal immigrants from being in the school.
Yes, that's going to come up again. I know William Lambert, and I even spoke with Marsha Blackburn and um, Congressman Burchett about this, about getting some kind of ruling from the Department of Education, which I couldn't imagine would be negative, saying that we would not lose federal funding if we charge tuition to illegal aliens in
Oh
the
yeah, because
schools.
that came up before under Biden, right?
Yes, it did. And of
Mhm.
course, after Trump, it could come up again. Who knows? The federal government always uses that very small minority of federal funding that they put into the schools to control the whole apparatus. And so, we've seen it, and everybody knows, like our Hamilton County Republicans, most of them voted to give illegal aliens free tuition, even though 80% of their district doesn't want it. We saw this happen in Knoxville as well. I mean, these folks are just completely out of alignment with their primary voters. Hopefully, some of them get thrown out in the upcoming elections for school board. But to me, I think they should flip it up on its head, and it's that uh, you can't charge. You have to charge tuition, and maybe instead of letting school boards decide whether or not they're going to dole out taxpayer money, maybe they should just mail letters to taxpayers and let them opt in if they want to pay for it. Would be better. And if nobody opts in
Okay.
to pay for it, then it doesn't happen. And that's the thing about liberals.
Hmm.
They're always very generous with other people's money. But when you ask them if, it's like, we should pay more taxes. If you ever once in your entire life voluntarily mailed a check above and beyond your tax burden to the federal government, and they always say no, I'm like, why do you need a law to be passed for you to do what you think is very
Right.
virtuous? You should do it on your own. And most conservatives live their life the way they want things legislated, where, a lot of Democrats vote the way they want other people to pay for things that they can use. And that's completely different, or to assuage their guilty conscience. And I think this issue is a big deal. One other small thing I think might be interested. There's been a lot of conversation about the fact that these school vouchers can be used for illegal aliens, and as far as I can tell, the answer is yes. And so, even if they could put
Hmm.
in some kind of verbiage in the legislative session that illegal aliens can't get these vouchers, that would be a step in the right direction
Yeah.
of detaching the funding. So we'll see what happens with it. It's going to be very difficult. It is sad that that we can't get more alignment between the GOP representatives on school boards and their actual districts, but it appears to be where we are. I think if this passes, YAFFEE, we will see some more conservative rural counties vote to eliminate it. But I think most of your metro counties, where your
Yeah.
Republicans tend to be more purple than red, probably won't go for it.
Yeah, that's a good point. But first, they even have to pass a bill on it, and that's going to be hard
Yeah.
enough as it is with the current makeup of the legislature and the problems they had in the past. We'll see what happens. One thing that has started this new year is that Tennessee has rolled out a new driver's license specifically for non-citizens. How does this work?
So I'm a little fuzzy on this, and I'm going to try to dig into it. But right now, it essentially says that if you are a legal, I guess a legal alien instead of an illegal alien, meaning that you have
Mhm.
permission from the United States government to be here, there will be some kind of indication on your driver's license that you're not
Hmm.
a citizen. And this was originally and primarily introduced for election integrity issues. But my question is,
Gotcha.
are they going to require some kind of similar marking for illegal aliens? Because to my knowledge, in Tennessee, we award driver's license to illegal aliens. That is,
It'd
I
be
mean,
better instead of
otherwise,
having a marking, just not awarding them a driver's license.
yeah, that might help clear up a lot of things. But
Yeah.
we're not again, anything that actually causes pain that would cause the illegal alien issue to go away in Tennessee has pretty much fell on its face in the legislature. I mean, anything that's like, oh, that might hurt financially, that might grab a
Yeah.
bad headline. Anything real significant has met a pretty untimely or a quick demise in the legislature, or it's just never been introduced at all. And so they're making noises, and it's an election year, YAFFEE. And so
Mhm.
if you can ever get a rhino to do something conservative for a moment, to hold their nose and vote conservatively, typically heading into the elections is the time to do it. So I'm hopeful this legislative session that some of these guys have taken. There's kind of like a tipping point of bad votes that you can take as a Republican before you start getting pretty weak in the eyes of potential challengers. And so, hopefully, a lot of these guys have realized they've racked up enough bad votes that they're gonna be more conservative heading into the elections. But that remains to be seen.
And hopefully, if Marsha Blackburn becomes the next governor, maybe she'll show a little bit more leadership on this. I'm sure you're not satisfied with the leadership from Governor Bill Lee on some of these issues.
hopeful that whoever becomes the next governor of Tennessee, because it's until the filing deadline passes, I've seen rogue candidates come out of left field, especially well-funded businessmen with no political background, fare very well. I mean, Bill Lee had kind of a similar entrance into the governor's office if you look at it. But I think it's going to be better. I just don't think it could be worse. I don't think anybody could be. I mean, I don't mean to shoot myself in the foot here, but I don't think anybody would be any less conservative than Bill Lee. I just don't see it.
Okay.
They might be 10, 20% better, but anything that sucks
You'll take
less.
anything at this point?
I'm like, at this
Yeah.
point, I mean, the expectations have just been driven down so low for real conservative leadership that I think anybody that steps into that position is likely going to deliver more of their campaign promises. That's just my guess. And so I try to give people in elected office the benefit of the doubt, meaning a lot of conservatives always want to just get behind the underdog no matter what, and to hate everything their government does because it's just what they do. But until I see somebody actually take negative actions that are out of alignment with primary voters, I don't go after them, right? You can't go after people for things they haven't done yet. And so I'm hopeful that whoever gets in the governor's mansion will be more conservative, and not even just be more conservative, just try to be as conservative as the people that sent you there.
Right.
And the world will tell you that that is radical, but honestly, it's just mainstream.
Yeah, we're out of time right now. Brandon Lewis, founder of the Tennessee Conservative. Read all his stuff, and of course, check out this interview pretty soon at TennesseeConservativeNews.com. Brandon, appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, take care, Yaffee. See you, buddy.